Hello. Bringing to you this webinar called Advanced Child Tax Credit. Of course, you know what they are, right? Of course, I know you do. And this is the money, and you will get, if you normally get child support and your child is still a child and under 18, then you have this thing. So let's look at let's go through our webinar really quickly and give you some solid understanding on this. And the no responsibility disclaimer from our corporate attorney. And this is a thing we must do. And please take our information with a grain of salt and don't apply it and without knowing it, and don't blame on the result just because you watch one of my videos. And you watched all my videos and talk to me too, and talk to our staff, got the work done here, then obviously we have responsibility, but not when you just, brush through information and try to think that's what it is. So make sure you study, okay? I know you would. Okay, what are the advanced child tax payment? This is the check gonna come into your bank or to your mail, okay? The early payment of child tax credit, this is actually what I call Canadian ways, because that's what Canadian do. Canadian always give child tax credit early. They don't wait until the year end, you claim it, then get a whole bunch of money. No, they actually send that to you as soon as the baby is born. But of course, they adjust that when you file taxes, but they let you have it. So the amount of 50% of estimated child tax credit that you can claim on your 2021 tax return will be advanced to you on July 15th. So today is July 13. I mean, literally 2 days later, 48 hours later, there will be people getting that money in their bank account. So you may be wondering, that is your 2021 tax return amount that you normally get from the child tax credit. And the monthly installment based off 2020 and 2019 tax return, stuff gonna happen because you're gonna have a new baby and they don't give you, oh, well, that's what it is, because they're basing on 2020, 2019. Oh, you didn't file your 2019, you didn't file your 2020, that's too bad, you don't get it. And or your baby grow up. They do grow, don't they? They gain one year age every year. So what if they don't qualify anything in 2020, but you still get the advance payment, then you pay it back. So that's what that happens. IRS should have sent you a letter. The letter has, IRS letter always have a number. It is, at one time, one of my personal goal was to remember all these letter numbers of IRS. So when IRS talked to me about, 6417, oh, I know what that number is, what that letter is, but this is just a letter number. And you can look at the bottom of on the bottom of the right-hand corner, that's where the number is. So look at that number and it will tell you how much you're getting monthly. And make sure you keep that in your record because it's supposed to go to your tax preparer, okay? And if you don't give that to your tax preparer, they think you didn't get it, then they're gonna claim it for you, and then you are going to have a wrong tax return. Start from July 15, and it will run through December 7, from month 7 to 12, and the 6 months total, okay? All right, amount of child tax credit. And for tax year 2021, and for qualifying child is $3,600 for child age 5 and under. So 5 and under is including those terrible twos for sure. So they're $3,600 per child and $3,000 per child if they are between 6 and 17, right? So if your child is becoming 18 in 2021, they're not qualified for this, but you may still get your advance payment. Then just be prepared and you're going to pay it back. Your child tax credit amount must be reduced based on your modified adjusted gross income, AGI. AGI is a thing and it's on your tax form. So you look at that amount. It says that the 3,600 and the 3,000, those two different amounts, they will be reduced to $2,000 per child if your modified AGI exceeds, number one, $150,000 if married, okay, or filed jointly. Some common marriage you filed jointly, that accounted together, okay? And 112,500 if filed as a head of household, single mom, single dad, that kind of situation. 75,000 if you're single filer, okay? If you're single filer and maybe you are not head of a household, but you're a single filer with this year is your turn to claim your child, that's what happens, right? Can be further reduced below 2,000 per child if your modified AGI exceeds $400,000 if married, filed jointly, half all the other filing status, okay? So $400,000 is a magical AGI, kind of mark you to different tax treatment, especially what is coming in the pipeline from Biden administration. The tax reform is going to address that. So that's a magic number. If you're going over that, you have a different tax treatment. I'll say you'll pay more taxes compared to before. But if you're under, maybe not so. You are retaining status quo and it may not be that much of an impact for you. So we will talk about that in a different session. But here, just so FYI. Now, why give out advance on child tax credit? Because they want to be Canadians. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, I'm just kidding. It is a best practice according to Canadian government. The advance was created to help people during this financially difficult time by getting them their payments sooner. Yes, a good thought, because the families who are struggling with dollars every month, to have that being advanced, that's kind of cool. It kind of reduces the excitement when you file taxes, you got a big refund. Oh, wow, I got a big refund. I can do something big. Reduces that. All right. Some situation where you might not want the advance. Oh, there's a lot of situations. Maybe you just don't qualify. You don't want advance. Or maybe you just love that Christmas present kind of surprise, that kind of refund every year. I would just go onto the portal. They call that child tax credit update portal CTCUP. That's the link. Okay, child tax credit update portal. Go there, and you can make a choice not to get it. All right. So really, it is it meant for good, but depends on whether that works for you. You don't have to have it right away. You can have it at the end, but you can also have it right now. Pay it back later. If you make too much money, don't qualify. All right. So qualifying child, just want to mention, you might just ask me that, well, since you're talking about this, and why don't you tell me who qualify? Taxpayer son and daughter, stepchild, eligible foster child, brother, sister, stepbrother, stepsister, half-brother, half-sister, or descendant of any of them. Okay, these are definition of qualifying child. Okay, and do not, and you want to make sure that the qualifying child does not provide more than half of his or her own support during 2021. So if this child, doing a part-time work and make a lot of money and they can support themselves, then they don't qualify to be a qualifying child, even if they're 17 years old, okay? And they have to live with you for more than 1/2 of tax year. So that means 6 months, right? And are properly claimed as your dependent on the tax return, and they must be U.S. citizen, U.S. national, or U.S. resident aliens. So resident alien, what does that mean? That doesn't mean that you must be U.S. citizen, right? So you can be someone who is resident alien. So you're alien, you look weird, you're aliens, but you are resident. So you stay here more than 183 days in that calendar year. So a lot of children And as long as you go to school here and you live with your, your guardian or your parents, and they're qualified child. So I would say that whenever you are in doubt and coming to get the answer, or call out of our office if there's a lot of confusion, we actually put out webinar. That's also one of the way for our firm to continue grow and to really capture the hunger of the knowledge from outside. We need to know what people need to know. So that is actually a signal for us. Oh, people need to know that. So we put out webinars like that. Even this one, because people were asking us when they are going to get the first advanced dollars. So in order to answer that question, we have our staff. I believe this time is our Liberian cat again, and put this together for us. So, so I can talk to you as if I know everything. What's wrong with as if, right? That's important. And you like to see me, and I want to tell you, and I study the research result, and then just come out and tell you what it is. So how do I receive these payment? Good question. You will not need to take any action if you filed 2020 or 2019 taxes, okay? If it is already filed, you don't need to worry. And you should start receiving the payment automatically. So you don't need to call IRS. IRS will use bank account information, the direct deposit information. If they received it, if you got a refund, you did give them, they have it. Otherwise, they will send you a check by mail. And you do need to take action if you have not filed your tax return and the e-file and provided information of your bank account for direct deposit. So these are important because if you didn't file your 2020, your 2019, you don't get anything. If you are not required to file and have not filed, not because you didn't file, because you don't need to file, and in that case, there is a IRS non-filer tool that will allow you to register for advanced child tax credit payment. Okay, it is the same place where you did a stimulus payment or you claim your recovery rebate credit in 2020. Okay, so that'll be the same place, but make sure you know that it's not like you have to file. You don't have to, but I don't know why you would not. Even if you don't make money, but because you have a child, you should have already filed. So I would say that most of the child tax credit recipients, you should have already filed your return. Okay. And there's a free places everywhere, right? The VITA program, you can file your return with no cost. So why don't you just go there, get that done? Okay. If you don't know where to go to get a filing with no cost, you call our office and we give that to you. And we really want to see our folks just get the service, and claim what you should claim. And but if there's anything that doesn't belongs to you, and we don't want it, but we want what that belongs to you. So I want to make sure that you know where to file free taxes. Okay. Are advanced child tax credit payments taxable? No. So don't worry about getting the money. Oh no, I don't want to have that money because I have to pay it back. Totally not true. Unless your child is fake, sure, you pay it back. But otherwise, if you're legit and there is no reason why you don't get child tax credit. And even if you're an 18 person, you still get child tax credit. Okay, that's what really means that as long as you live in this country, as long as you're housed in this country and you are a resident, whether it's a resident permanently or citizen or residence aliens, and it doesn't matter you have horns or not, you all get it. Okay, so this is the in essence, this is the spirit of taking care of our next generation. We want every child to have food on the table, and the child tax credit is literally for that. All right. And sometimes your situation changes. Maybe 2019 and 2020, you made a lot of money. You didn't even get child tax credit. And so now you're not going to get it for this advance because they go by those 2 years, and you can go into the portal to change, right? We mentioned that earlier. So just be very aware of the advance you're getting is for 2021. So in 2021, if your child turned 18, you should not get that. Okay, you can go ahead to change it, or you just take it, and when you file taxes, we make adjustment to that, right? You return that money. There would not be a penalty for you to have it for 6 months ahead of time. And currently, the payment is calculated on 19 and 20. So that's why it is really, if you didn't file 20, they go for 19. If you file 20, they go for 20. So that's where that could bring some, bring some issues to you if you have a change of situation. Or maybe, you got divorced and you didn't get the child, but you're getting the advance, by the divorce decree. It's not your child to claim in 2021, but you got the money. But if that's the case, you need to work this out with your ex, right? And I have seen, one benefit about working my kind of work is almost like seeing life ahead of life. Like, if I'm in my 50s, I'm sitting here, I see life ahead of life because I see people in 60s, 70s, 80s, and I see people pass to another world. And, so it's always, for me, I always can see the reasons for people to do what they do. So when couples getting divorced, the child is almost like a tool for the fight. Without child, there's less fight, but now it's more. And knowing what's coming on the tax side would definitely help you to plan the divorce with much less gunpowders, right? So you can do a very systematic, thought through process. If your taxpayer's name, say, is the gentleman, is your spouse, and you know that this advance payment not going to come to you, is going to go to that person and follow the address. And especially if you're the one moving out and you're not getting it, even though you moved out with your child. All right. So all of these things, kind of food for thought. Why do we have to plan divorce? I would recommend nobody getting divorced. You just stick with each other for good and for bad. And that's what the wedding vow says. So why we forget about that, right? So here is a token of advice from an old person like me. Okay. Can I change my information for advanced child tax credit payment? Yes, you will use the child tax credit update portal to update your bank information. Currently, you can only use portal to opt out, means to say, I don't want it. When you say you don't want it, doesn't mean you don't get it anymore. It is just means that you get it at the end of the year when you file taxes, or change bank information. IRS is planning to add features. So in early August, they're gonna add change address function, so you can do that. And in late summer, what is late summer? Isn't that end of August too? And so that they will make change to your dependent, your status, your marriage status, and your income. So you can make changes to that. So if your income is too high, you opt out, you don't get it. And re-enroll if you previously unenrolled. Change your ideas. So that's all sound very cool because the system will help us to get there quicker. Sometimes you might be one of those people who are just kind of don't want to deal with computer. Every time people talk about portal is like a big unknown factor for you. Do you know that you don't need to be afraid of that? Go to those free help place like the VITA program place. Tell them you need to get on the portal to do that. They will walk you through. They will do that with you. Okay. And so just make sure you utilize all the community support out there. There's so much support out there. I am always amazed how much help a young entrepreneur would get nowadays. Then the time when I was a young entrepreneur and there is nobody there. There's not much of a government assistance program at all. So life has been changing rapidly. And these are the things you need to be aware of. You're living the new time, and the community help and the free help is just everywhere. And you need to know that. Obviously, Community CPA is not a nonprofit. We, of course, charge our clients for services, but we're not going to turn a blind eye to the free services because a lot of our clients will benefit from there. Then we send them there because that's where they would get the best out of the buck they have, right? So just know that if you don't know where they are, and Google, internet, or just call and ask, where do I find a free place to do this? And we literally have answers. Now, avoiding scams related to child tax credit payment, we already seen them. We have a client came to us because he wants a copy of his tax return. And in fact, we know he has one because we send them electronically. So just ask him, oh, why do you need a paper one? He goes, oh, because I got an email and asked me to give them that information so the IRS can send me the advanced child credit check, because IRS is emailing me. They want me to send that by email. IRS will never email you. IRS don't know what email is. Okay? Of course, it's not true, but just remember that way. IRS don't do that. Okay? IRS don't call you out of blue unless you got a letter already. You're being audited, we want to see you, and you ignore them, they call you. But again, they don't email you, say, hey, send me your social security number and how much, what is your bank routing number, account number, so we can send you $3,000 child tax credit. You know, that's the spam. So please watch out, and watch out for email claiming to be IRS with attachment and links. Sometimes they're really smart. They actually don't attach anything. They don't have any link. They just say, I am an IRS special agent and I have an important matter to talk to you. Please let me know this is your email. And then you will say, oh, yes, it is my email and I need to know what you want. Then the next email comes will be, this is the attachment or this is the link. Please click the link and fill in your information. Don't do. Okay? IRS don't do that, please. And whenever you are wondering and believing that Ying is wrong, IRS do email, send me that email to me, prove me I'm wrong. Okay? All right, so you should, and if you ever got scammed and you happen to give out all your information, there is a form. It's called 14039. Okay, you will remember this form. You know why? Because the 140 and the 39 is one number apart. So you put that one in the beginning of the one, right? So it's 40, 39, but the 39 short of one, so you move that to the front. That's how I remember forms. So this is the form that you can tell the government that your identity is being stolen. As soon as you fill in that form, everything you do must need a PIN. So it is a place where you stop people to use your identity to do things. And we have clients and get audited by IRS. And the reason was that there's a bunch of W-2s that he worked and he didn't claim. And guess what? He's a client in Minnesota, and all of the other W-2s that he didn't claim is from California. And so that means what? Someone in California was using his status to work and he has no idea. But IRS has it, so he get audited for that. So those are called identity theft cases, and make sure that you're very sensitive to it. And don't assume IRS is contacting you in person. All right, so we are so good. We are 3 minutes to 3:30. That's my drop dead timeline, and I need to wrap up. And here is IRS website about advanced child tax credit. And everything I said is covered in here, so you can get IRS content to it. Then here is our secret. We tell you that Catherine's email is Catherine@communitycpa.com. And now you know what we're up to, and we will talk to you soon.